Hey everybody, and we're back for one more little video, just a quick one. This was something that I announced I wanted to do. Anyway, so for say NHL 21, because I think it is already kind of too late for NHL 20, but for NHL 21, here's just a couple things that were on my mind about maybe like a Be a Pro series, something that we could do with that. And maybe improve on it in the next year, okay? So I'm going to run you through the way I think Be a Pro should be. And this is kind of the way I feel like this series should try to go. And I don't think it'd be very difficult to get there. I think they have all of the pieces that they really need, but they just haven't executed it the way that they should have, even going back as far as like NHL 14's Live the Life mode. Anyway, so I think you should be able to start off as, say, you know, a 15-year-old, 16-year-old, 17-year-old, whatever, in the CHL or the WHL, OHL, QMJHL, stuff like that. You should be able to go to the United States. I honestly do believe you should be able to go to the US. But I think the game should more or less be played as if it was like franchise mode. You know, so it's like you can start as a 16-year-old in the minors in the OHL or something, and not necessarily be able to see like contracts and crap like that. That doesn't really matter. I was gonna say you should have the option to view the draft class, and you should be able to see specifically where you are projected to go. I think that'd be a great step forward. Would, first of all, be able to see the NHL stats. So I should be able to see league leaders. You know, I should be able to see team standings. And I should definitely be able to view the draft class and see where I'm projected to go, what team I am projected to go to. This is not difficult stuff. This is all incredibly basic stuff, right? And after that point, so you do your minor season, you go to view draft class, and it says you're projected to be the 4th overall pick in the draft. And you check and see who is projected to have the 4th overall pick in the draft. And we'll just say it is Arizona is projected to have the 4th pick at the draft. That's terrific. That doesn't mean Arizona's going to get that. So just like in franchise mode, you should then be able to see the draft lottery. Just like it would be in franchise mode. Just pops up on the screen, shows you who is going to win the draft lottery. Now, after that happens and you go to view draft class, you can now see 100% what spot you're projected to go, what team you are projected to go to. So, you get drafted to the National Hockey League, to the, say, Arizona Coyotes, who do, in fact, get the 4th overall pick, and you are drafted where you are projected to go. Now you're a National Hockey League player, you sign your 3-year entry-level contract, and you play through your first season, and let's just say you get 20 goals, 30 assists, 50 points, you go from 70 overall, or let's say 75 overall, you go from 75 overall to like 82 overall, because you're probably not playing every single moment of every single game, because then you're going to end every season with 250 points, and that is just annoying. Anyway, so you end your rookie year with 50 points, you go up to, we'll say, 82 overall, you play through your second season, you have a 30-goal season, you have 70 points, and you are like 87 overall at this point, and it's pretty simple to put the math in place properly, where the team is going to go, okay, we had 25 goals, then you had 30 goals. Chances are you're probably going to have 35 to 40 goals in your 3rd season. And you should have the option to negotiate an extension. Now, you can't just negotiate the extension, but it should ask you, would you be interested in an extension? And if you say yes, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be offered a contract today. That doesn't mean that. It means at some point throughout your final season under your entry-level contract, you are open to receiving an extension offer. That doesn't mean you have to take it, but you can be offered, and if you click no, the team won't even bother offering you an extension, right? But if you say yes, yeah, they might. That doesn't mean they will, but they might offer you an extension throughout the season. And then after the season ends, and you could be a restricted free agent, which you cannot do thus far, become a restricted free agent. I believe you should be able to be restricted. There should be, I don't know about offer sheets because EA is a really bad history when it comes to making teams intelligent. So I feel like everyone in the universe would just be offer sheeted over and over and over and over and over again, and that wouldn't be good for anybody, but right? So maybe not so much an offer sheet, but you could be a restricted free agent, something like that. Anyway, so when it comes to contract time, it should start at the re-sign phase, right? Your draft team is going to offer you a contract. That's the way it should be. You should have the ability, if they say, we want you for the next 8 years at, $9.8 million because we think you're going to be a 50-goal scorer at some point. You are going to win us a Stanley Cup. We're going to win a cup with you on this team. We want you for 8 years, $9.5 million. And you could say, you know what, I'll take a pay cut if you can bring the term down. I don't want to sign here for 8 years. I'd like, just like in the real National Hockey League, right? I would like, say, a 5-year deal for $7.5 million a year. And that way, too, you should be able to view your team's contracts. That way, you're not going to cripple your team with a contract when they inevitably offer you a 21-year-old who's 94 overall. They're going to offer you a $14 million a year contract for 2 years. And 2 years from now, your team is going to be garbage because your team can't afford any players. And you are not even given the option of taking a pay cut. And if you don't sign a contract with your team, even if they could find the term that you like, you could say, well, I think I would still like to see what my options are out there, see if there would be any teams that would pay that restricted free agent cost to have me. And then you could go somewhere like, say, Chicago would have to give up, 3 first-round draft picks. But if they were willing to do it, and they were willing to negotiate the terms you want, okay, with Chicago, I would sign an 8-year deal. But I would do it for $8 million a year. I don't want to go anywhere above 10 because then you're crippling your team, and your team is going to be terrible. And in these games, they've pretty much made money useless anyway. So regardless, I don't even know why they have salaries at this point in the EA NHL series, because money is irrelevant unless you're playing like franchise mode. Then money actually matters again. But in Be a Pro, money means nothing. It serves no purpose in this video game series. So I honestly, truly believe one of the biggest things they need to work on is making money matter. If you are a superstar player, they could, the more money you make, the more of a star you are, the more expenses you're gonna have, right? If you're just some like 75 overall, just young kid, you're 18 years old. You probably don't have that much in the way of expenses. You probably got living quarters figured out. It's all pretty basic stuff. But I noticed that EA treats all of the people that play NHL, they treat them like idiots that have never even thought about a contract before. Now, I did a test with this on my wife, who has never watched hockey. She doesn't like hockey. It doesn't interest her even in the slightest. And I said, this is the way EA treats us, right? You get offered a 2-year deal for $12 million a year. You have no way of negotiating anything. You just either take this one or take this one. Those are your only options. So what I did was I opened up my franchise mode and I handed her the controller and I said, what do you think about signing this guy? What do you think about signing that guy? This is what the cap is. This is how much space we have. This is how much term he wants. And this is like, and I just let her kind of look through when everyone's expiring, what age everyone is. So it's like, oh, well, this guy is only 20 years old making $800,000 a year. He's going to want a major raise next year. Now, if this guy signs for $12 million, we're not going to be able to afford this guy in the future. And so it was someone who's never watched a damn game before, someone who's never even thought about turning NHL on or playing the game for herself. And she had the common sense to say, you should sign this contract, but don't sign this one, you know, and she made a very intelligent decision regarding the contracts. And and EA's treating their players like we're morons, and it's like, well, it's too complicated for them, so we got to dumb it down, and we'll just make the decision for them. And it's actually kind of insulting. So that is the way I think the NHL Be a Pro could really improve, right? View the draft class when you're in the minors. When you get to the NHL, you should be able to sign an extension if you wanted to sign an extension. You have to be able to view your team's contracts. You have to be able to see how much cap space you have, who is expiring when. Because I can tell you one thing for sure, in real life, every NHL player has the internet and has heard of Cap Friendly. So the fact that you can't see any of this is horribly unrealistic. Everyone has access to all of this stuff. So it's kind of absurd that they treat it like, well, you can't see that, so it's all a guessing game. In hockey, there is no guessing when it comes to finances like that. It's like people who take these monster contracts for like these teams that should be getting better with a star player are just going to get worse, and EA sets you up to fail by not allowing you to do anything about it. So that's just my thought. I thought I'd make a short... well, it was supposed to be a really short video. Kind of rambled on. It was kind of nonsense for a while there. I hope with my microphone I didn't turn everything up too loud. I've been kind of fiddling with my settings. My mic has been pretty low in a lot of videos. I've been trying to kind of jack the volume up and stuff. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is just my thoughts. I will see you bright and early tomorrow for the release of NHL 20 and the first episode of our Be a Pro. Until then, have a good one, guys.